Welcome, seekers of truth and connoisseurs of raw feeling, to a brand new episode from Secrets Behind the Stars. Tonight, the electricity in the air doesn't come from camera flashes or a red carpet frenzy, it comes from a heartbeat taking a reckless leap. In an industry where private moments are staged and even confessions feel rehearsed, Erkan Meriç has torn up the usual script and stepped into the unknown. We're about to unpack a proposal that rattled Istanbul's most jaded insiders, not because of a diamond's size or an extravagant backdrop, but because he asked the question knowing full well the answer could be no. Before we open this chapter of audacity and tenderness, a quick invitation. If you cherish storytelling that listens closely and looks deeper, subscribe to Secrets Behind the Stars, tap the bell, and consider hitting join to support the work that brings you closer to these unguarded truths. Your kindness keeps us digging, verifying, and narrating with the care you deserve. To grasp how this moment came to be, we need to return to the set where their legend first wrote itself in whispers. Back then, tucked between lighting rigs and costume racks, the connection between Erkan Meriç and Hazal Subaşı didn't need a director's cue. It flickered in the pause between scenes, in the warmth of a shared thermos during long nights, and in the unhurried conversations that unfolded when everyone else had drifted away. They carried their professionalism like armor, guarding their bond with a discipline the industry rarely sees. Those who worked alongside them could sense a current neither flaunted nor denied. It hovered in the hush after a take, in the way silence felt full when they were near each other. Behind Erkan's composed presence, however, a battle had been raging. He knows Hazal, not the headlines and photo calls, but the woman who weighs each step, whose mind resists the chaos of this world by holding tight to logic and timing. He is not naive about her stance on marriage or how little room she leaves for impulsive leaps. Sources close to him swear he didn't stumble into this decision. He walked toward it. I understand the risks, he confided to a longtime friend. I know her caution, I know her pace. I'll still follow my heart. With those words, what might have been a cute romantic gesture turned into a dare against fear, a declaration that vulnerability can be a choice rather than a consequence. The night he chose to ask wasn't shaped for likes or headlines. There were no fireworks, no staged serenades, no elaborate productions designed for public consumption. He arranged a simple scene that felt like a memory only they could share. Soft music, a quiet room, a sense that the noise of the world had been dimmed on purpose. Those present only by rumor say his voice, usually steady and measured, trembled. They say his eyes shone not with despair but with the release that comes when a person stops bargaining with fate and finally speaks plain. It wasn't drama. It was surrender. What shook the conversation everywhere from group chats to green rooms was the intention. He did not ask expecting a guaranteed yes. He asked because the truth had nowhere else to live but out in the open. I acted on what I feel, no matter the outcome, he told his confidants after. Gossip veterans, trained to sniff out performance, read it not as pressure but as an offering set gently on a table she could walk away from. And those who know Hazal's ironclad commitment to caution understood how seismic this was. He acknowledged her doubts. He still stepped forward. To her, the very awareness of her walls made the gesture taller. It said, I see your fear. I will not bulldoze it. I love you enough to stand here anyway. Let's pause here, Secrets Behind the Stars family. This is where it gets complicated in the most human way. Do you consider his bravery admirable, or do you see a dice roll that could hurt a precious friendship? Is love a leap off a cliff with your eyes closed, or a bridge you build plank by plank? Tell us in the comments. Your voices shape the heartbeat of this channel. And if you value this kind of storytelling, tap like and consider becoming a member through the join button. Your support lets us keep asking better questions and bringing you closer to the answers. After the question came the silence. Hazal, celebrated for her clarity and meticulous thought, found herself without a neat plan. Friends say she froze in a state neither sorrowful nor ecstatic. It was shock-colored by a depth of emotion she wasn't prepared to meet. No instant yes, no swift no. She chose the only honest response available in that instant, stillness. She retreated to the circle that shields her, speaking softly and at length with the people who have permission to challenge her. This shook me, she admitted in whispered rooms, in versions of the same sentence. I've always let my head drive. Now my reason and my heart are fighting for the front seat. Erkan's daring crackled through her careful defenses. It refused to be brushed aside as theatrical impulse because it was not dressed in spectacle. It was stripped of armor. Online, fans turned into detectives of feeling. They zoomed in on a photo where her gaze lingered on distant water. They parsed captions about timing and patience, weighed metaphors about quiet roads and unlocked doors. Is she leaning toward yes, or scripting a graceful goodbye? No one knew. Yet in the uncertainty there was a pulse of hope, because somehow the ambiguity felt less like a curtain closing and more like a candle being guarded against wind. Erkan, meanwhile, stood like a calm harbor. Those who encountered him in recent days describe a man neither triumphant nor crushed. He repeats, with a steadiness that surprises even those closest to him, whatever comes, I did what I had to do. There's no pursuit, no bargaining, no countdown clock on her answer. Instead, there is space, room enough for her to consider the life she wants without the glare of an audience or the pressure of measurement. This disciplined patience has drawn praise in the industry and beyond, a sign that his love is not a leash but a door left open. Colleagues who have watched this from the wings confess astonishment. They sensed a bond, yes, but few expected him to risk so much, so plainly, so soon. Knowing her, they assumed he would wait for an alignment of stars, a moment with zero ambiguity. Instead, he accepted the ambiguity as the price of honesty. And now, the two of them have peeled away from the hotspots and flashing lenses. They skip the usual tables where rumors ferment, choose odd hours for errands, and let the city pass by without headlines to chase them. Some interpret this quiet as a cocoon, a protected time when love can renegotiate itself in private. Others fear it means a soft retreat from each other, a necessary cooling so neither is scorched by expectations. What would you do, Secrets Behind the Stars family, if you were in Hazal's place? Would you let yourself be carried by the courage of a love that has stepped forward without guarantees, or would you remain loyal to the blueprint you drew long ago to keep your life stable in a world that seldom is? This story matters because it mirrors the conflict inside so many of us, the comfort of a plan versus the ache of possibility. Share your thoughts below. And if you want more from this journey, updates, long-form reflections, and exclusive interviews when the time is right, become a member by clicking join. Your presence in this community reshapes what celebrity storytelling can be. We are not just covering a headline, we are witnessing a moment when show business looked away and two people had to decide who they are. Erkan did not flip a coin to summon luck, he flipped it to prove that taking the risk was, in itself, the point. And Hazal, with her measured quiet, proves that gravity-defying choices are not made in the glare of 1,000 eyes but in the gentle dark where only your truth can hear you. Whether they walk toward an aisle or toward a peaceful parting, this proposal has already carved a place in the year's most unforgettable chapters because it showed something rare: courage without demand, love without performance. Here at Secrets Behind the Stars, we will keep listening for the small signs that matter. How long they linger outside a favorite cafe, the tone of a caption, the way their paths cross or don't at industry events. Not to pry, but to observe what unfolds when two people refuse to be reduced to a headline. Will there be a wedding? Or will there be a different kind of promise, one that honors what was truly shared? For now, the story belongs to them. And to all of you who believe love is at its truest when it is brave and free, thank you for coming on this emotional ride with us. Subscribe, share, and keep your notifications on. We'll be here, ready for the next heartbeat.